Dr. Dave Janda, welcome back to Operation Freedom Radio Soundbites. This is a special presentation we do after our red on-air light goes off on our Freedom Bunker at Wham Talk 1600 studios on Sunday afternoons. We had a great radio show today. The show is already posted at davejanda.com. 6 great segments: Adriana Reed, Helen Chapman, Senator Eric Lucero, Ed Steer, Victor Avila, and General Tom McInerney. The podcasts are all available commercial-free on our website, part of our subscription service, including the Operation Freedom Overdrive segments, which were the last 2 segments with Victor Avila, Special Agent Victor Avila, who recently testified in front of Congress on the immigration issues, as well as General Tom McInerney, who actually was the first, along with Admiral Ace Lyons, who came on our radio show live on March 19th, 2017, and brought the first radio or television programming forward about the Russian collusion hoax and what was really behind it. And now, 8 years later, everybody else is catching up. One of the things we do, we put you far ahead of the curve. In this radio soundbite, I want to feature Adriana Reed, a precious metals expert, a financial analyst, incredibly honest and straightforward. We were discussing about this financial reset and the single most effective way to prepare for that and to protect yourself. Again, this is from Adriana Reed from the Camino Company, Camino, C-A-M-I-N-O, CaminoCompany.com. I want to play this insight she provides because you will never get this on Fox Business News or CNBS, as we call it, or Bloomberg or Reuters or Barron's or the Wall Street Journal. And it's extremely important for the immediate road ahead. Let's play Adriana here.
We've seen the price of gold increase significantly over the past year. The same is true of silver. They're both well over up 25+% this year alone. Right. And there are many people saying, well, that they've run their course and they're going to significantly pull back at this point. Well, Adriana, what drove the price of gold and silver higher was the fact that the U.S. was going into more and more debt. The U.S. was printing more and more money, which is at astronomical levels. The printing of these dollars, which diminishes the price of existing dollars. Adriana, I don't. Maybe I'm reading this wrong, but I don't see a 25% increase in physical gold and physical silver prices being a top of a market. I actually see it at the beginning, because what got us in this mess to begin with was exactly what's still happening today and seems to be escalating. Am I misreading this?
No, you're spot on. And I think the thing that we're experiencing right now, I think this is probably how I would explain it, is the debt is almost incomprehensible. When we talk about $1 trillion, for example, it is so far out of grasp for us to mentally comprehend it as a number that I believe that we just think it's not that big of a deal, because it lacks so much awareness as far as what that number even means. We can comprehend $1 million, we can even comprehend $1 billion, but when we talk about $1 trillion, and then we add 38 ahead of it, I think that's really where I think America truly is that, okay, just keep printing, but the main thing that we have to stop printing money, because for you and I, when we go to the grocery store, things like that, you go to your gas pump, all these different places that you have to, pick up your day-to-day items, is you will highly be affected by that. And on top of that, there's going to come time when they will cause another crash of sort. I have grown to the age where I don't believe that any crash is very natural anymore. I think that they time it up. They set the 1% gets set up, and you have to remember that the elites make money on the crash, not on the declines. And they scoop everything up at low prices because they were prepared for it, and they hope that 99% of the country is not. And so my job is to make sure that you get into that place where you do have excess available that will grow during those times of need when you need it the most. So that, for example, 2008, a lot of my clients did not lose their homes because they had the gold to cover their mortgages or different things that they needed to cover. They were able to put food on the table still. Especially now, as you and I know, I don't believe inflation's at 2.7% still. I think we're working on it, but I don't think that we're anywhere near to 2% by any means. And so we're experiencing this right now. And the main thing for me is when they put inflation as high as it is, the goal is to knock off people, to make it so that the middle class is non-existent. And it will bring you down into an impoverished level. And then they get their scenario, like you explained at the beginning of the show, where you're asking the government for help. And that's what they're going to try to get us all, establish us to need their help, want their help, and ask for their help. And the goal is to stay as independent as possible as individuals, and also as we, the people of this nation, need to work together to make sure that we're up against what the right common enemy.
Folks, we're speaking with Adriana Reed from the Camino Company. Adriana, a week does not go by where I am sent emails from folks in our listening audience. They say, you know, I realize I need to, at a minimum, diversify. I need to protect myself and get some physical gold and physical silver. And when I talk to my, quote, financial advisor, end quote, they told me it's very difficult to buy physical gold and physical silver. And if I want exposure to gold and silver, I should just buy some mining stocks. Okay. So, Adriana, please take people through the steps, because it's not difficult. You folks are very transparent. You make it very easy, very straightforward, both on the buy side and if somebody wants to sell. Educate our listeners on physical gold, physical silver, buying, selling, processes, and availability.
Yeah, absolutely. So there's a couple things I want people to understand when you buy ETF contracts or things like that. Is number one, brokers need your money to stay on the books in order for them to make money. When you make a purchase with us, the purchase is the only time where we will make 1% to 2% on the order itself, and then all the money goes back into your hands. I don't make any quarterly, fees or anything like that, and I want people to understand that. The second thing is also remember that when you buy contracts, that there is tax on those quarterly contracts that you will end up paying. And that is not the intention. Is we want to get the least amount of money to the government, and we want to make sure we're protecting ourselves and keep the most money in our own hands that we've earned ourselves. So when you buy physical assets, we have good availability right now on product. And when you buy the physical assets, the main thing is you take possession of it. And we have this conversation quite a bit, you and I, Dave, about if you own it, you should be able to hold it. And I still stand on that motto, especially right now, like I said, as we're stepping into a very modern digital era, it seems. I think there's a lot of things in the next 5 to 10 years that are going to completely change our world. And I am adamant about people holding on to the physical. As far as silver goes and gold right now, I do think it's, still has tons of potential. Like you said, I think that things are not over as far as, different things that are going to globally take place. So right now I'm recommending that you buy, pieces of gold that are the lowest of premiums. And that includes, coin form or bar form. I'm kind of adamant on more of a coin form depending on where you live. If you live locally to us, we do buy back all bars, so I'm not concerned about that. But, if God forbid there's a time where you can mail the bars to us, we want to make sure that you're ready to have them close by if something were to happen. Silver side of things, I recommend that you do buy low premiums as well. There's the 1 ounce generic rounds, which are privately minted and a great option. The reason I also like the 1 ounce generic rounds is I'm pretty adamant on having some form of silver just in case the financial system does crash too far and they themselves were not even prepared for a new era, and we have kind of a limbo that we're stuck in where you can use the 1 ounce of silver to do a trade with the guy down the street if you need food or anything of the sort. So there's also options of Silver Eagles, Maple Leafs, Britannias, all the different countries. We carry everything. For those that are looking for kind of a stronger hedge where they want to put more money towards that, I do like the 100 ounce silver bars. I think that those are a great option to buy if you're looking to kind of take on a larger purchase because the premiums are pretty low on those right now. But the main thing is just getting the physical assets into your hands and then making sure that you store them properly, I do recommend that you do get a fireproof safe. I'm in California, so God knows that we have a few too many fires, as you probably have seen on the news. They're not natural, as we all know, so just be prepared. We just don't know what the pipeline's going to bring us. So fireproof safe, and then, just kind of build up your savings, in essence, and become your own bank. The other thing that I just want to add to this is that when you do this, you will feel incredibly empowered by what you're doing. Sure. And that's my goal, is to empower Americans, because we do have a country that we do need to take back and put into our own hands. And I preach this to my children all the time, is that, if you have a problem, solve your problem. Let's stop talking about our problems. America has a lot of problems, and we know that. But we need to go back to the style where we're a country of doers, and we solve our own problems. And I am here to actually solve a problem before it even happens.
Adriana, Camino has a great website. Educate our listeners about the website and how they can get in touch with you, because you're very responsive.
Yes, absolutely. So CaminoCompany.com, we have a 24/7 store. You can purchase there. You can also give us a call at 800-348-8001. We're open 8:30 to 4 o'clock Pacific Standard Time. You can also shoot me an email at adriana@caminocompany.com, spell it all the way out. I will tell you right now that we are being bombarded by calls, and the days are long. So the best way to reach me is shoot me an email, and I will shoot an email back. And we can either get a time slot for a phone call, just because I do want to make sure that I get everybody and answer everybody's questions or anything of the sort. But like I said, just, be a little patient with things being as busy as they are right now.
Well, and Adriana and her team, they're the best in the business. Honest, straightforward, and they give you a tremendous amount of their time. I encourage you to take advantage of what Adriana, the services she offers. Check it out, CaminoCompany.com. Look, folks, the reset is here and now. It's not conspiracy theory. It might be conspiracy, but it's conspiracy reality. And you need to protect yourself. 99% of what Adriana and I discussed in this radio interview, the people you know and love don't know anything about what was discussed. This is a portion of our interview. The entire interview is up at davejanda.com, as is the rest of our radio show. Folks, you can't rely on government to take care of you. Okay? They won't. In fact, they'll throw you an anchor, not a life preserver. And you need to protect yourself. And the single most effective way of protecting your store of value, historically, has been physical gold, physical silver. It's not a barbarous relic. It's a life preserver, both of them. Take advantage of it. Take advantage of it. Because government's not going to bail you out when this hits full force. We're kind of getting into the moving front here. But when it's full force, you'll be very, very happy you took the necessary steps now to protect yourself. I thank you for joining me today. Until next time, Dave Janda signing off. Dream big and dare to fail. Thanks for your time today.